Welcome to the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. Australia is in the middle of a small business boom, and it's not slowing down. New research from accounting software platform Xero and Accenture predicts $370 billion in value will be added to the Australian economy over the next decade. Joseph Lyons is the Managing Director of Xero for Australia and Asia. Joseph, welcome to Fear and Greed.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Why the boom in small business in Australia at the moment?
Yeah, well, we've, as you said, just recently completed a report looking into the trends in small business creation. And, we've really reflected, I think, on what the past couple of years has meant for the small business community around the country. And there's certainly been significant growth. And as you say, small businesses are projected to contribute a significant amount to our economy over the next 10 years. But not only that, a lot more jobs going to be created and, a lot of contribution going back into our economy, which is really exciting to see.
Okay. Is it the fact that COVID came along and in a sense cleaned out not just big business, but small business as well? So those that survived are actually in pretty good shape? Or is it the fact that people post-COVID are starting their own small businesses? I'm just really interested why we're seeing such a boom right now.
I think there have been a few factors that have contributed to the surge in new business registrations, starting with, I think, job uncertainty when the pandemic first hit. I think there was a wave of job losses and redundancies, which gave people pause to think about what it meant for them and their future. There's been a lot of talk in the media also about the Great Resignation. So I think Australians have reevaluated how satisfied they are in their jobs and then also sort of have a bit more control and also some flexibility in their work. Then equally, I think digitisation has really ramped up the use of technology, which has also decentralised a lot of workplaces and created heaps of opportunity for people to be able to work remotely and in regional areas. And then equally, I think we've seen a significant rise in the gig economy as well, which has led to many more budding entrepreneurs to take the plunge and start their own business.
Okay, so what sectors are we seeing that growth? The gig economy being an obvious one, and that can be anything from an Uber driver through to something far more technical than that, I suppose. But what are the sectors that we're seeing growth in?
So we're expecting to see the biggest increase in job opportunities in construction, right, but also in professional services and in transport as well. I think they're expected to lead small business creation over the next 10 years as the key industries that are driving the change. But equally also new retail trades, so the move to online retail has also unlocked heaps of opportunity as well.
I'm going to show my total ignorance here. Construction and retail, what sort of jobs are you talking? What sort of businesses are you talking about?
Yeah, look, I think in construction, now that we are coming out of the pandemic, we're expected to see, a bounce back in our population boom. But equally, I think Australians have a real thirst for property. So a lot of home renovations and creation and construction of new homes as well. So all of the trades that come off that are certainly driving growth in that sector.
Okay, and retail?
Retail, I think the fact that, the pandemic has unlocked, a wave of and a move to online retail trade. So people are looking to establish and set up their own online stores. That's also driving the growth there.
Stay with me, Joseph. We'll be back in a minute. My guest this morning is Joseph Lyons, Managing Director of Xero for Australia and Asia. Okay. Now, one of the great things about small business is that they create jobs, many more jobs than big businesses. Forecasts show the impact of small businesses on the labour market to the tune of 1 million new jobs over the next 10 years or so, and 6% of the nationwide labour market to be employed by new businesses. These are all your figures. They're huge numbers.
Yeah, look, I think if you look at the percentage of businesses in Australia that are small businesses, 99.8% of businesses across the country are small businesses. And as you say, they do account for about 2/3 of our nationwide employment. And they also contribute back at just over half, at 55% of the value to our economy. And we're expecting over the next 10 years that there will be an additional 1 million new jobs that are going to be supported by small businesses that are opening up. And 6% of the nationwide labour market will also be employed by new businesses as well. So a pretty bright future for the small business economy.
It's a small bit, I'm sort of, it's a Dorothy Dixer here, Joseph, but platforms like Xero kind of allow people to do things they could never have done 10 years ago, let alone 50 years ago in terms of small business, in allowing them to actually operate the business. Putting Xero aside for a moment, is it just the fact that technology makes running a business easier as well as providing greater opportunities within business?
Yeah, look, I think for our business at Xero, we were born in the cloud. So cloud-based technologies certainly allow businesses now to work and engage with new tools and tech remotely without the need to, have a server based within a physical location as well. And I think, for a platform like Xero, we equally have a range of different ecosystem partners that we work with also that plug into our core platform. So there's a huge range of new solutions and technologies that solve a myriad of processes that traditionally have been done manually. And now most of them are cloud-based, which does allow, as I said, for that work to be done remotely without needing to be in a single physical location.
Okay. You've also got some interesting data on the changing face of entrepreneurs in Australia. Presumably it's no longer just sort of middle-aged men.
No, there's certainly been a significant shift in the new wave of entrepreneurs and small business owners that have started up. They're much younger, they're more diverse, and increasingly they're tech savvy. And some of the stats that have come out of our report suggest that just under a half of entrepreneurs are now aged under 35 years of age.
Right.
37% of them are also born overseas, so far more culturally diverse. And now 1/3 of entrepreneurs are women, and that's been a 40% increase in small businesses owned by women since the start of the century as well in 2001. So there's certainly been a big demographic shift as well. And then equally, we're hearing that 3/4 of small businesses are now saying that technology does play an essential or an important role in the running of their operation as well. So it is encouraging to see that these younger and more culturally diverse entrepreneurs are really seeing the importance that technology can play in their business.
It also just makes for a better society when you have so much greater diversity, and being that through products right through to employment opportunities and things like that too, though, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So one of the big changes in recent years is the rise of the gig economy. We've discussed that. Does that mean we're seeing more people sort of starting businesses as a side hustle? So we started this business, Fear and Greed, a couple of years ago, and it's our full-time job. But the one thing about technology is that you can actually have side hustles, I think. Is that what's happening?
I think there is a bit of that. So certainly people that may be in existing employment and want to dabble with a side hustle just to get things started and to test and learn and see whether there is viability in a new business venture, that's certainly a good avenue to take and kind of mitigates risk. And then as you start to see things improve and grow, that gives you the confidence then to take the leap and make it your full-time role. But equally, there are others that, do dive in both feet first and look to start up their new venture from the jump.
Okay. So, how dominant do you think small business will be in 10 years' time? Because globalization kind of, over several decades, kind of pushed and helped large businesses, but then cloud computing particularly, but technology generally has probably helped small businesses. Is it a trend that we're just going to see again, continue to see for the next decade or two?
Yeah, look, I think it is. The projections that we've got, and these are conservative numbers, that we're expecting to see 3.5 million new small businesses are expected to be registered by aspiring entrepreneurs over the next 10 years. And those small businesses are going to contribute an additional $60 billion a year to our nation's economy by the time we get to 2031. And they will also, as we said earlier, going to support an additional million jobs, and which should equate to about 6% of our total labour market. So we do expect to see the growth continuing, which is an exciting time for the small business community.
And is this an Australian trend or is it a global trend?
The figures that we've got are Australian, but it's certainly playing out if you look at some of the insights coming out of North America and other markets around the world.
Okay. Joseph, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
That was Joseph Lyons, Managing Director of Xero for Australia and Asia. This is a Fear and Greed Daily Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, Australia's most popular business podcast. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.